All right, let's talk about something we almost never talk about, finishing. We spend all this energy on how to kick off projects, how to plan them, how to keep them on track, but what about how to end them? Today, we're digging into how to close a project the right way, because finishing strong is seriously one of the most important parts of the whole game.
So let me ask you this. Your team shipped the product, the client's happy. You're done, right? Well, maybe not. See, there's a huge, and I mean huge, difference between a project being done and being properly finished, and mixing those two up is a classic mistake that honestly costs companies way more than they realize.
Think about it like running a marathon. A runner doesn't just slam on the brakes the second they cross the finish line. No way. They have a cool down, they rehydrate, they think about their race. The end of a project is exactly like that. It's the final lap, and how you run it really sets you up for your next big race.
And here's the problem we see all the time. Without a real ending, projects don't conclude. They just fizzle out. People drift off to the next thing, final paperwork gets lost in the shuffle, and all those incredibly valuable lessons, they just vanish into thin air. It's this quiet failure that guarantees you'll make the same mistakes all over again.
Okay, so how do we avoid that fizzle? The answer is a formal process called project closure. This is the official step that takes a project from just being done to being professionally and formally delivered. It's a total game changer.
So let's be super clear about what this is. Project closure is the formal process of completing all project activities. And here's the key bit. Your project is not 100% complete until you do this. It's not an optional extra, it's a real, distinct phase of the project, just like planning or execution.
So why even bother? Well, a few really critical reasons. First, this is the moment you officially hand over the keys to the customer. It also confirms that, yes, this project actually did what it was supposed to for the company's bigger goals. But for me, the most important part is that it carves out specific time to evaluate and learn. It gives everyone, your team, your client, your boss, a clean, satisfying finish line.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? Well, the sources break it down really nicely into 3 key deliverables. Just think of this as your simple, step-by-step roadmap to wrapping up any project like a pro.
So here they are. Step 1 is wrapping up all the final tasks. Step 2 is performance evaluation, checking the numbers. And Step 3 is the retrospective, learning for next time. Let's break each of these down. First up, wrapping up. This is all the practical nuts and bolts. We're talking about the final, official handoff of the product, closing out all those vendor contracts, paying the last invoices, and getting all your documents signed, sealed, and archived. And you know what else this is? It's the perfect time to actually celebrate with your team. Acknowledge their hard work, have a pizza party, whatever. That little bit of recognition gives everyone a sense of closure and gets them fired up for the next challenge.
All right, next is the performance evaluation. This is where we get real and look at the cold, hard facts. We have to ask, did we deliver everything we promised? The scope. Did we finish when we said we would? The time. And did we stay within our budget? The cost. This part isn't about how we feel it went. It's about what the data tells us.
And professionals use tools like this one to do just that. It's called earned value management, and it's simpler than it looks. That black line, that was your plan, where you expected to be. The blue line is the value of the work you actually got done, and the red line is what you actually spent. By seeing how those lines stack up, you get a crystal clear, data-driven picture of your performance. No guessing required.
And that brings us to Step 3, which is, you could argue, the most important deliverable of all, the retrospective. Now, a lot of people think this is just about complaining about what went wrong. It's not. A great retrospective is all about learning forward. Yeah, the real magic of a retrospective is how it takes all that raw, messy experience your team just went through and turns it into concrete, actionable improvements for the future. This is where you get smarter as an organization.
I mean, think about it. Every single project kicks off with a detailed plan, right? Here's a classic example. It's a work breakdown structure. It basically takes a huge project and breaks it down into smaller and smaller chunks, right down to the little tasks. It's our roadmap from the start.
But here's the million-dollar question. How do you make sure that the next time you build a plan like this, it's even better, that it's more accurate, more realistic? How do you bake in the lessons from the last project so you don't make the same mistakes? Well, you guessed it, the answer is the retrospective.
And I love this quote from the legendary management guru W. Edwards Deming. He said, "Does experience help? No, not if we are doing the wrong things." It's so true. Just doing things over and over doesn't make you better. If you never stop to reflect, you might just be getting really, really efficient at messing up.
And that's the whole point. A retrospective is the machine that takes the raw fuel of experience and turns it into wisdom. It's how you make sure your team starts doing the right things on the next project, and the one after that.
So, let's zoom out for a second. When you really think about it, project closure isn't an ending at all. It's a bridge. The end of one project is really just the beginning of the next one.
And that's really the big idea I want you to walk away with. A strong project closure doesn't just tidy up the past. It actively builds a smarter, faster, more effective organization for the future. It is a direct investment in your next success.
So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. What is the one single most important lesson from the last project you were on that you are absolutely going to carry into your next one? Because that simple act of reflection, that's the first step to finishing stronger every single time.